Hi, this is Zach Min with the Bulletin Board Heroes here at Zach's Traders Cafe for Monday, the 20th of October. Starting with the FTSE 100, which has recovered from its dip to the 50-day moving average. That's at 92.88. Come back from there. The market, I suppose, basically hit the floor of the rising trend channel there from June. That was one of the scenarios, maybe not the most obvious one, but we've also had an RSI 50 rebound. And so looking for this market to basically get back above support on the way down, which was around 93.90, to then show that it can get up to the top of the channel there at 96.60 by the end of next month. The high so far today, 93.54, so a little bit shy. Sorry, this high today, 94.07, so a little bit shy so far of the level needed to get back in place so far. We've just made old support, new resistance. On the downside, an end of day close back below the 50-day line, 92.88, could be a trigger for a move down towards the 91.80 level, but the way things are going, expecting this market to stay within the channel. Next on the list is the DAX, and here we also bounced off the floor of the channel there, in this case, one since April. In fact, we bounced a bit above it, which is good, and then we've gapped through the 50-day line. So it looks as though this market back in business in terms of trading near the record highs and then looking to make a move up to 26,000 perhaps by the end of next month, while we're above the floor of the channel, 23,600. Worst case at the moment is a rug pull to the 200-day line, 23,100. Moving along to the situation at the Dow, which obviously we looked at yesterday, and here it's a matter of trying to break out of a mini range, which is between the 50-day line, 45,700, and that rather weird resistance line there from the beginning of the month. And that's currently running through 46,200. And of day close through 46,200, we're looking for the top of the channel there from May last year, 48,200 by the end of next month. Ideally, if there is a rug pull, we won't go back below the July support there. July resistance rather, and August support at around the 45,000 handle. Moving along to the cryptos, and the first one is Bitcoin, which is looking rather better perhaps than most of us might have expected. The market was, the doomsters were really on the back of this at the end of last week, but all that's done has actually led us to bounce off the floor of a rising trend channel there from February. The level there, 103. And while we're above the 200-day line at 107, looking for at least a retest of recent resistance at 116. So nothing too scary there at the moment. Remember, while we remain in this channel, we remain above 103, looking for the top of the channel there as high as 134 by the end of the year. Probably that's a conservative target and time frame now. Next up is a situation called Ethereum, and here we sort of split the difference in terms of how bad it could have been. We were fearing might have to head down to 33.40, which was the August support, but we didn't do that. We were hoping that we would stay above the September support, 38.40, and that didn't happen either, so we split the difference there. There's an uptrend line there, the red line there from April, and that's currently running at 37.60. While we're above that, we're looking for the 50-day moving average at 42.88. Obviously, the main resistance line there, 46.20. Moving along to gold, and here the bit of a rug pull at the end of last week, but perhaps nothing too serious given the extent of the gains that this market's delivered. A sort of parabolic move. We still have that red November resistance line heading up to 4,500 as the best case scenario target, perhaps by the end of next month, while we remain above the initial October resistance around 40.70. We've still got a bit of wiggle room down to that given where we closed at the end of the week. Moving on to the stocks, and a decent rise and decent recovery here for Ajax, up 20%. Remember, it came from the main market to Aquis, and actually done rather well in terms of the journey here. Rising trend channel here, initially looking for 7 pence, hopefully as soon as the end of this month. Above that, we could see something rather more spectacular in terms of a resistance line target towards as high as 12 pence. And that's one from the May-June time. We'll color that in a different color to differentiate it, but at 12 pence, the best case scenario target if we break through 7 pence. Ideally, we stay above the 50-day line at 4.3. The stock which has had a great few months is coming up next, which is Bezant. And here we're bouncing above our old target area, which was around 0.07. That leaves us looking for the 0.12 level, hopefully, by the end of next month or even sooner. You can see that since the end of August, we've had support well above the 50-day line. That tends to be a sign of a strong market, as do the three main RSI 50 rebounds we've had since the beginning of last month. Altona doing well and being called up by lots of people on Twitter at the moment, or X as it's now called. Here we managed to hit our target there, just below 2.5 pence. That's the top of the rising trend channel there from the summer of 2024. Above that, the upper parallel of that resistance line is 4 pence, and that could be a target for as soon as the end of next month, while we remain above the old May to July resistance at 2.25. Double RSI rebound there at neutral 50, so that does suggest there is gas in the tank here. Over and above the way that we've got the 50 and 200-day lines both rising at the moment. Sticking in the same area, rare earths and Cobra are doing rather well at the moment as well. We gapped up last week, and even though this doesn't look like the most liquid of situations, we are on a rising trend channel. Top of the channel there heading with 7 pence, which I suppose is an end-of-year target now, while we remain above the 4 pence level and the 50-day moving average. See, there's a bit of a battle going on in terms of the merits or otherwise of defense holdings, but at least in terms of the charting situation, which is rather more neutral, you can see that got an uptrend line there in the RSI window, and we've had a bear trap rebound from below the initial October support there, 2.25. We've also had support points above a rising 50-day line, which tends to be a leading indicator on the upside. Top of the channel here, up to 5.75 pence, which could be a target here, I suppose, again, for the end of the year, while we hold above that 50-day line at 1.84 pence. Next on the list is Gelion, and which is covered here just on the basis that the company had a big fundraise of late. I think the raising 10 million, and the shares rising very well after that, which is normally a very good sign. Top of the channel here, up to 34 pence, and we're looking for that while we're above the 50-day line at 21 pence. You can see also we've had two major RSI 50 rebounds there, and that is helping the cause over and above the gap close buy signal being played out at the moment. Genflow is next, and here I think there was patent news today. Here we've keep hitting our previous target there, just below 2.5 pence. Above that, looking for 4 pence by the end of next month, while we stay above recent support at 2 pence. The situation at Incanthera is interesting at the moment in the sense that looks as though it's now or never in terms of a potential move to the upside or a recovery here. Here we had the gap down, gap fill, and then a higher lows put in. Uptrend line in the RSI window, so looking for the 200-day line area maybe by the end of next month. That's heading towards 5.75, 6 pence, and looking for that by the end of November. There must be something going on. Well, one would assume there's something going on at strip tinning, given the way that we've gapped through the 200-day line there. And top of the channel here, nominally at 36 pence, and we're looking for that while we're above the 200-day moving average at 24 pence, the floor of the channel there, just below it at the moment. Moving along to the situation and at the next stock, which is actually Smarter Web. Here, looks as though the doomsters got a little bit ahead of themselves in terms of saying the company's finished, Bitcoin's finished, and the whole world's finished. Here, we've actually had a decent bounce so far today, presumably helped along by the recovery in Bitcoin. Initial resistance here around 76 pence. If we can get through that, then the best case scenario would be the 200-day line at 99 pence, even if the shares fall back again on that situation. If you're looking for a stop loss, that would be today's initial support there at 58 pence, but all rather academic at the moment, given the ongoing bear market for the shares. Strategic Minerals is next, and here we're still engaging in the company's massive re-rate, which is very refreshing. Current situation is that we're toying with the third target there at a penny. Above that, looking for up to 1.3 pence. Perhaps by the end of next month, ideally we stay on the right side of 0.8 pence, whatever happens to this situation. On to the last few, and here we've got TAP, and here you can see that decent announcement today, but as I complained in the RNS hot list, there does seem to be some pesky seller keeps selling at 3 pence, which they've done since, well, basically the best part of a year. It is quite amazing that that is still happening, but presumably one day, hopefully soon, within a year, we'll see that seller disappear at 3 pence. Initial target here 3.65. Best case scenario 5.6. Although at the moment this stock just remains a sell into strength around 3 pence, a bit like the way that Audio Boom has its in-house seller as well. Moving on to Tertiary Minerals, which is included on the basis that the company had a fundraise, but the shares have remained solid. Our initial target here is 0.06. Above that, looking for 0.1 pence by the end of next month. And the technicals actually here unaffected by that 100 grand raise. Finishing off with WeCap, which seems to be continuing its journey towards an American listing. Here we've got a rising trend channel. We already hit our previous target, I think around 1.8 pence. We're now looking for the shares to hit the top of that rising trend channel from June, as high as 3.7 pence, and hoping for that by the end of next month, while we remain above the 50-day line at 2.3 pence. Also got an RSI 50 rebound, which is nice to see. That's it for me today. More updates tomorrow.